Hi, we're about to start, everyone, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello my lovelies, so I'm Lizzie and this is Live with Lizzie. Today we're going to be doing some Christmas in July, which has been strangely enjoyable, rummaging through all of my Christmas collections and having a look at what we're going to play with today. And I've pulled a few different bits out, but we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to give you a little roundup. We have got the challenge blog going strong. We've got some extra entries in since last week, and just to run you through what the layout is, Liam's going to pop that up on the screen. There we go. So we're using Background Builder 1 die, and you've got the largest rectangle, which has a little snip in it so that you can feed in the skinny rectangle and then the circle die as well. And there we go, that's the Background Builder 1, and this is the last challenge that we are having on the blog with Background Builder 1. Next month we're moving across to Background Builder 2, but we'll get to that later. I have made some cards with this month's kit with the Background Builder, so we're going to flip over top now. There we go. So these are two of the cards that I've made using the current kit. This is just another one of the pretty little cards, really simple ones. This one I shared last week, and this one will be going up in the next day or so. So the Be Happy kit is completely shipped as far as we are concerned, unless anything's come through whilst I've been live for the last few minutes. But that is the kit, and as you can see, there's lots of papers, lovely coloured cardstocks. We've got ephemera, stickers, the usual, lots and lots of lovely products there. And as I say, that's all been shipped. We are fully up to date now, I believe, with all of our orders. Apart from people that have already placed add-on orders for next month, which is brilliant. And then emails, I believe we're relatively up to date with as well. So I'm doing this as I say that because I didn't look at them yet this morning, but I'm sure they've been followed up with by Liam. So, right, who's here? Hello, hello, hello. We've got Jana, we've got Mary, Sarah, we've got Nedra, and I'm loving the fact that some of these people are the ones that comment saying, oh, I'm catching it on the replay, so I'm really pleased to see you're here today. We've got Ilka, Pam, Margot. Hello, everyone. I really hope I haven't missed anyone's name there, but I can only see this much. So, Christmas in July, how exciting. Oh no, one last thing I need to talk about. Last week, it was last weekend, wasn't it? Not the weekend gone, the one just before. We have released the class kits for Full of Woe. So the last time I taught a class was pre-lockdown, and it actually included one of the pads that we're going to use today, the Magic of Christmas. Now this is what you will receive. I'm not going to show you too hard inside. However, this is fully comprehensive. What the class that I'm going to offer, because I've done lots of different companies' classes, and they are all brilliant in their own way, but I know what I like as a crafter, so this kit is what I would like to sit and do. So there's all the card bases in there. All of the homework is done. We've done it all for you. So the pieces are cut to the right size, the small little pieces, everything's ready to go. That's the Christmas. That was a little bit keen. Right, so everything's ready to go in here to make these. Now I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to spoil, but these are the 10 cards that you'll be making in class with me. It is a live class. We will take breaks in between because I think this is probably going to take about 5 hours. So this is full on, but we're going to have loads of fun. And as I say, most of the hard work has been done for you. There's going to be some techniques in here, but bear in mind, because there's 10 of them, they are all relatively straightforward. There's not going to be anything particularly difficult or that I doubt you've never done. If you are a proper beginner, we will go through it at a really nice pace, and of course it will be available on replay. If you can't manage the live, I appreciate those that are in Europe. It's going to be the evening time for you when we start, so there is no shame in bailing out and then picking up again when it's convenient. So we have literally got a handful of those left, but all of the others have been shipped out. They're all on their way, I believe, unless it's an add-on because it missed the cut-off date. But anyhow, I'm really excited about that one, and I've already started scheming the next one, so that's going to be great. Let me have it. Oh, we've got Joyce has joined us. Hello. Right. So we've gone through about the Full of Woe, which is Wednesday, and again, as I say, I can't wait. And we're actually, I'm going to just pop this out of the way, we are actually going to be making all of those cards on my best friend's birthday, so I'm going to have a good chat with her beforehand, and maybe I'll send her a kit to craft along with us. Happy birthday. Right, first card we're going to make is with Christmas in June. And we all know that Liam's got it ready. So this is the Christmas in June card kit. As you can see, it is a whopper. This is one of those kits that you could purchase and you could make all of your Christmas cards for, I reckon if you're free to add cardstock, I reckon you could get a good 3 years out of this. There is so much included. I haven't got a complete one here because I knew that I'd get myself into a bit of a pickle on the desk. But as you can see, and the sheets are A4, those pattern papers, they are enormous. You get so much out. And we've got the embossing powder, and you've got a Versamark. So I've tried to think of everything with this one. But as you can see, there's gold foiled papers as well as the lovely prints in the traditional colours. And you've also got this really striking blue. You've got the die, which I absolutely adore because it's so easy to snip apart. You can snip off the Santa Claus, you can snip out the snowflake, so you can create so many different things with just that one die. And then next are the holographic holly. They are 3D. You can't really see it very well in that picture, but they sit like this, and they're self-adhesive, so they're really pretty and just add a little bit of shine. You get 6 full meters of ribbon in satin and grosgrain. Some are printed, some are simple. You can see some of the foiled vellum. Yeah, there's stamp sets, there's bows to match, so you haven't got to be fiddly with the ribbon to try and make the bows pretty yourself. There's the stamps. They look like Christmas stamps. They're so sweet. You cut them apart and sort of the little circles come away, and they look really lovely and shiny. They've also got gold foiling. There's decoupage pages, there's absolutely tons. Anyhow, right, so the first card I'm going to make, Liam's all keen, I'm going to use a stitch rectangle dies. And what I've done is I have picked out one of the decoupage sheets from the Christmas in July. I have picked 2 of the patterned papers that match really nicely, as you can see. These really lovely warm traditionals. And I'm going to show you how we do decoupage. Now it is super simple if you've never done it before. Oh sorry, also I need to excuse my hair. I don't know when it happened that having wet hair was not socially acceptable, but yes, my hair is wet because it's too hot to use a hairdryer. I mean, we're talking Christmas and it is boiling in here, and it'll be dry by the end of the video under these lights, so please excuse the hair. Okay, each of these pieces are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's got extra down at the bottom, so these you can ignore. Now, depending on how thick or how tall you want to have your card, we could skip, so we could just do the odd numbers, so 1, 3 and 5, and then you could do 2 and 4 as a separate one. Like if it's going through the post and you don't want them to be stacked up, because you use dimensionals, and there are dimensionals that come in the Christmas in June kit. This is so confusing. Christmas in June, Christmas in July. I'm going to keep tripping myself up there. We will build this one up to be its tallest because it's going to be a special one, and I'm going to hand deliver it to someone that I really care about. So it also gives you the full impact of how decoupage works. So number 1, number 2, and now I'm doing number 3. And you just pop these out. Now, I pulled my little scissors handy because sometimes when you pop them out, let's see if we can identify any on the close-up camera. You can just about make out there are these tiny little nodules. That's it. So I have my scissors just to sort of run the blade along the edge. Oh, we got Barb from Edmonton. Hello. Relatively round the corner. That's what, a 3-hour drive. I was in Edmonton not that long ago for the creative scrapbooker event, the carnival, which was lovely. So, right, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to keep these in order so that it's super obvious where we're going. Number 4. These lovely little birdies, the poinsettia. Oh, the word Christmas. Again, I could just keep the Christmas and use it as a sentiment elsewhere. We've got Creative Cindy as well, and Doreen. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Right. Now we're on to number 5. And this is something that I really love about these decoupage sheets, is that there are extra sentiments. So I don't need to use them, but I will keep them because they also obviously work perfectly with everything in the kit. So now, this is what the page looks like at the end. You can just snip away the extra and pop the extras back into your kit bag. But for now, I am not going to be concerned. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to take number 1 and then grab number 2. There isn't that much that's hanging over here. It's not particularly obvious. I will just trim around just to catch any that are protruding, because it does make it look just that little bit more finished. But I am very, very grateful for the pop out rather than the Liam's going to tell me off if I use those. In a live video, I have to use my tape. If I use the foam squares, we'll be here forever. So I'm going to foam tape, but there are squares in the kit. Okay, so I am going to run it along the edges for that bit of support where we want it the most. Okay. So, how is everybody? How has everyone's week been? I currently have my dad visiting from the UK, which is lovely. Really enjoying having him in. Right, just layer it on top. And this is the name of the game. We're just going to keep going up. Now, of course, we get to the bit where Liam can't argue with me because too small. Too small to pop anything other than a dimensional square behind. And these ones along the edge, I'll use my scissors and create tiny little skinny ones. As you can see, they play ball beautifully. Tweezers also can be very helpful. I very much dislike fighting with dimensionals, as you can tell by the fact that I use tape so frequently. Okay, so this I'm going to layer straight over the top of the image, and the same with the birds and the Merry Christmas to you. cowboy hats are out. They are. Stampede at the moment is in full swing and everyone's having a great time. It's thoroughly enjoyed here. And they do a lot of free breakfasts, which is not something that you get in England. You know, you can just sort of go along to various businesses and they share pancakes, which is jolly decent if you ask me. Right, popping the birds on. You know what, it doesn't need all of the layers. It is great. This is one of the things I really love about these, is you can go ahead with all of them, but it isn't in fact necessary for it to look really special. You can just do a couple of layers and it's all popped up and looking great. Right. You see, even like that, I think that looks so nice. And we've still got extras to go. I'm trying to keep these all together because I'll be finding those later on. Okay. I'm struggling a little bit with my nails today. I need to cut them back a bit. All fingers and thumbs. Let's just pop one more. I do try to keep the edge row so that I can snip them down. It does make life much easier. Liam would make a great cowboy. He loves horses. Right, that one. Now we'll do the poinsettia. In fact, if I take a couple out this way, it will make life easier. So poinsettia, on you go. This little robin. Oh, gosh, right. So, there we go, there's that one. The poinsettia, so spin it around until you find the right way up. This one helps because it's got a little bit of the vine in. You can see where that goes. I have butterfingers. I think it's the heat. Is it hot where everybody else is today? Well, I was thinking about putting a Christmas jumper on, but I was truly concerned I might melt. He only ever rides a lawnmower. And he makes out like he hates it, but he loves it. He's turned into one of those people that gets all, you know, stands there with his thumb in his belt, rocking back and forth, looking at his lawn. Right, oh dear, hair might have to go up. So now we have just the little red breasts. I'm going to pop a little skinny bit behind this one. And I'm going to get away with a bigger square. Oh my goodness. They're not my friend today. Okay, right, that one goes on there. I'm going to cut just a little bit more to support the back of this. There we go. Okay. This is in. So, as you can see, we have now completed our topper and it is super dimensional. Which, when it's standing on someone's mantelpiece among lots of other Christmas cards, yours is going to stand out and be all special and important. Okay. So So we have that. Let's pop the giant roll away. So I picked these papers because I thought they worked really nicely, and I thought we could use stitched rectangles, my very, very, very well loved stitched rectangles. Let's actually make a card base. So as ever, my card base is 8.5 by 11. It's an American letter cardstock, and cut in half lengthways because I like a top fold. Again, it is just to be that little bit different. Oh dear. Right. So as you can see, this is the size when it's on this is a standard A2 size card base. So if you put this onto a 5 by 7, it would still hold its own. Lovely, big, and it's got this really pretty iridescent glitter to it. It's all very special. So I'm going to use a stitched rectangle. I believe this is the biggest. As you can see, well loved, well organised. But yes, that's the largest, so I don't want that one. I would like a little bit of white around the edge. I'm going to go for a little bit more than that one. I think we will go, yes. We'll have that one. And I could, but I won't. I could do the red using another stitched rectangle, but on this occasion I'm going to use the red as a band across to help land it. So I'm going to use the holly paper, which has got a script behind it, but it doesn't matter which way up you put it. You can't read the script. Top folds are Pam's fave too. I really like them because they photograph well, and they just stand out a little bit on someone's mantle where there's lots of other cards. I'm just tacking this down because my track record with die cuts shifting as soon as I start to put it through the die cut machine is track record is not strong, so it gets taped. I also like to cut as tight as is possible without running the risk of damaging it to the actual die cut, because I don't like wasting. I would much rather have the option. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to move my card, because that is another favourite of mine, is to damage by putting things on top. Out comes the Cuttlebug. Right, and here we go. There goes the close-up camera. Okay, and there we go, fallen away just like butter. Now, to try to remove the die without leaving the tape on the paper. Nearly 2 out of 3 is not bad, is it? Oh, Suzanne, you're very busy. I've made 2 cards from this page this week. Lovely. Oh, I'm really pleased. I hope you share those in the Facebook group. Here we now have a really pretty stitched rectangle top fold card base. Let's get those lined up. There we go. So that's annoying having the handle, wasn't it? Okay. And now just for super simple, and just to drag a little bit of the red from here into the background, because there is the red of the berries, but there's not a lot. And because I can't resist a little bit of shine, we're going to create a belly band using some stripes. Now what I think, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we'll go with 4 because there's a lighter red and a darker red. So if we go all 4 I'm going to get some bigger scissors now so that I can do this in fewer snips. So gold, 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 and I'm going to cut on the inside edge so that I get to keep that gold as part of the piece I'm cutting away. Now let's have a look at how much I want to cut. Nearly there. But if you have gold at both the top and the bottom, perfect. There we go. I am actually going to snip a little bit over, and just because I want to have that stitched detailing that I've got on the edge there, on the belly band, I am also going to run this die through. But what you need to do is make sure it's straight, because if you send it through like that, then it will have to go like that on the card. Now, and that may be your intention, by all means, but I am looking for the super tidy, straight line. So you want right angles. You can use your cutting mat to create these lines. I am going to go by eye because I like to live life sailing close to the wind, and I'm going to pop that through. With the rest of the sandwich, otherwise it won't do a thing. And we now can throw away the edges, pull away the tape, okay. Move these somewhere where they can't be seen for the time being. Okay, so we're getting there now. We have got the lovely stitched detail. Now this stitched detail on the close-up camera, and you can see, is really, it's really subtle, and if it wasn't there, then nobody would, I don't think anybody would punish you. But I do think that when you stick this down, when that stitching continues, it looks really nice. So let's get some tape going. I'm just going to use a tape runner because it's nice and quick, and it dries and it goes all over my mat, and then everything sticks to my mat for the rest of the time. Okay, bear in mind I want it to be sort of, yeah, I want to put the topper ever so slightly up on the card, and I want that band to be just above it, so it's, you know, slightly less space at the top than there is at the bottom. Because of the amount of 3D-ness that there is, I'm actually going to use a wet glue rather than a tape runner, because otherwise you might end up damaging all of that hard work on the front. Oh, don't you love it when the glue works first time? It never does for me. It never plays ball. Okay, oh, in fact, before I assemble that, because of the 3D'd, I'm going to assemble this onto my card base. Okay, double check which way the card opens. Yes, my method of card making is a little bit haphazard if I haven't planned the cards out beforehand. I have a plan. And Liam's sharing all my secrets now. Yeah, when I make a card, it depends. It depends how quick I need to be, how thought out it all has to be. For example, I knew that I wanted to make one from the Christmas in June, so I got that out, and I started just picking pieces up and thinking, yeah, I'd like to use that, I'd like to use that, and then within a couple of minutes there's a rough idea. So I sort of knew what this was going to look like, but it wasn't planned. And then this is one of the bows. Now this would work pretty much everywhere. Oh, we're going to cover up the 2U. Pop it on a corner. Because you've already got the poinsettia here, it would actually look really nice there, but I'm going to pop it in the middle. Now when I'm adhering a bow down, I always use glue dots. I don't know if it's necessary, I just all do. Now, glue dots straight up behind the knot, using the scissors to get it on the back of the bow from the glue dot adhesive dispenser. And this is when I get to take a really quick mouthful of water, because the front facing camera's gone off. So I'm just going to tuck the bow in behind the tails of the robin, but not behind the branch. And there we go. So here's our first Christmas card. Now obviously you can stamp lovely sentiment inside. There we go. Blue boogers. Delightful. Right. So we have card number 1 completed. Card number 2. Now in card number 2, again, I have a rough sort of idea how we're going to go. Ooh, there we go. So this is the Nutcracker stamp and die set, and it is one of my favourites. I absolutely love it, and I've been eyeballing this little love for a long time. So I'm going to do some really simple colouring. I hope you all are okay with that. But we're going to use the rocking horse, and I'm going to do a non-traditional colour. So we're going to take the Nutcracker. Oh, there we go. So that's the stamp and dies. Oh, and now it's gone again. Hello, here we go. So excuse my face cutting off the bottom of the actual Nutcracker, but on this stamp set, as you can see, there is this rocking horse, 2 ballerinas, which again, brilliant for little girls' birthday cards. Really, really pretty set, and the sentiments rocking the holiday season. Fabulous. Let's crack on with Holiday Joy, which is for the Nutcracker. Obviously, the Nutcracker. Dance Like Nobody Is Watching, to go with the ballerinas. And Feed Him Walnuts and He Will Crack Open a Tail. Now that is a direct quote from the Sugar Plum Fairy. So, and then you've got lots of these lovely little tiny hearts and stars and baubles. So the ballerinas can be holding baubles. It's where your creativity takes you. Now, going to take a nice chunk of cardstock. I don't like working on a big sheet when I'm stamping. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I am going to take, this is some of the alcohol marker friendly cardstock as well, hasten to add, and I'm going to pop this into my Misty. Make sure that I get a really nice crisp impression. Now, because I'm going to use alcohol markers, I'm going to use Memento to stamp this with, because others will bleed. Depending on whether you're going to watercolour or alcohol marker, will signify the ink that you need to use. Now, this is the first time I'm stamping this. I'm very embarrassed to say, because it's such a pretty stamp. But it's one of the reasons why I wanted to crowbar it in today, under the guise of work. Okay. So, I'm fully expecting to have to give this a couple of good impressions, because as I say, oh, not too bad, but I am going to darken it up a little. Card 1 is very classical. Love that it's decoupage. Thank you, Mary. That's really sweet of you to say. Oh, we've got Joy. Hello, darling. I haven't spoken with you for a while. Sending all my love your way. Now, this is going to be the opposite style of crafting now. But there we go. Okay, so I've given that a double stamp and it's really nice and dark. So we will leave this here and let that dry for a minute. That's something that I can't stress enough. If you're going to alcohol colour, make sure that you let the ink dry, because otherwise it will bleed. Very well loved stamp chamois that could do with going in the washing machine, I'm sure. I just keep my stamp chamois in a little pot, and I spray water and stamp cleaner in there every so often, just in case anyone is interested, because I use that on oxides, on dyeing, on all sorts of things. So I'm going to pop my lovely little rocking horse back. Now the colours that I have chosen, I have picked 6 pens for the rocking horse to try to keep it relatively straightforward. There are 3 blues, 3 pinks, 3 greys. Oh, and I did pick up the clear just because, you know, we're live and that means I'm going to make a mistake. So you want the 0. As I use them, I will put the caps up here by Love from Lizi so that you can copy if you like. But I've picked pinks and blues for the horse's hair and grey for the body. I didn't actually think about the rocker. I may use darker greys to tone that down. In fact, if I grab, have I got the C7 here? Oh, I do. That was lucky, wasn't it? Okay, so I've got the darker one there for when I'm coming to do the rocker. And on this one, I'm going to use Background Builder 2, which is wonderful. In fact, we'll do the die cutting now while we're letting that dry, just to give it that extra time. So this is Background Builder 2. And what we have here, Background Builder 1 was much smaller, but this I've already designed the layout challenges with, and it's so pretty. So you have these, all of these dies are separate, so you get to choose. You can have a big scallop, you can have a scallop with dots, and so on. This is one die. You've got 2 different border dies, a sentiment tab, and then you've got the same with the circle, the cut, you know, the scallop, the circle, and the dots, and they are all separate as well. So loads of fun to be had with this. However, here we go. We're going to do some vellum die cutting because I cannot get enough of vellum at the moment. It is on all of my cards pretty much. And I'm just going to line those up by eye and then tape them. I'm not worrying about the vellum, I'm just worrying about taping the dies together so that they don't shift, because now they're in the right spot. And once they're taped, I mean, you can leave them taped when you put them back into the packaging for next time, if you think you're going to want to use it, because lining dies up can be a bit of a nightmare. And what I would suggest is drop the inner one and then move the outer one without touching the inner, and then tape them both. Easier said than done sometimes. You have to, and some days it just won't work, and I don't know what it is or why the die gods don't allow for it. But let me just take this piece of tape here and we'll pop this now through the die cut machine. Let me just move these out of the way because this card is done. When I do prep for the videos, I have these trays that I use, and I pop all the things in that I think I might need. So I am going to pass these to the magic hands to get rid of. It's wonderful. What you do is you just go that way and it disappears. Now, I'll pop that back there for now. So this is quite an intricate die, and it will involve a little bit of poking out, but it is so worth it. It is so pretty. And because it's intricate, I am going to run it just back and forth just once. And in fact, because it is all taped together, and whilst I have the sandwich, just because I want everything to fall out, I'm going to flip that sandwich, keeping the die exactly where it is, and just run it upside down as well. And I don't know why it makes a difference, being pushed from the back as well as the front, but it really does help. Okay, get that out of the way for now. Right, here we go. So we can take that piece away. Out you come. There we go. Oh, and there's only one little piece there that needs some encouragement. Gone. Just getting rid of those little feathery bits that have appeared, and that's probably because I flipped it in the sandwich. But yes, there we go. So now we've got a really pretty vellum diamond, and on the close-up camera you'll be able to see those little punctured dots. That was what I taped on the second die. So there we go. Okay, now this is going to be lovely and dry, so I'm going to pop that into my tray at the top, and we're going to do some colouring in. I am going to start with pink. Now the three pinks that I've chosen are R5.1. These are Olo markers, by the way, I hastened to add. R5.1, R5.3 and R5.5. Now I'm actually going to disappear from the corner now. Liam's going to remove that one so that I can get really nice and close. When I'm colouring, usually I would be sitting down, but because of the nature of the videos today, I decided to stand. What I'm going to do, start with the lightest colour, and I'm flicking. In fact, let me move over here so that you can watch on the close-up camera. I am flicking. Now, this centre part of the hair, like the big bounce, if you like, this bit here, I'm going to ignore, but I'm going to flick up to with the light colour. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to flick up to the bounce and round. I am no professional colourist. This is just my fun time, and all I want to do is create the illusion that there is both pink and blue hair in this rocking horse's mane and tail, because if I was a rocking horse, I would want to have a really pretty, fun, coloured hair. And if you do the flicking motion and you keep the darkest lowest, it gives the illusion of body. I have been able to demonstrate this when I'm colouring in, little girls' hair. Now, then I work my way back down the colours, and I'm leaving plenty of space because I do also want there to be room for there to be some blues. Okay, and then the lightest again. So it almost looks like what I'm creating is stripes. Okay, so they're the pinks. In fact, I am going to re-lid them because I don't want them to dry up, and it is super dry here. Now the blues. This will all take shape very, very quickly, she hopes. So B0.2. Going to put in the middle of those pinks, just to try to increase the interest, just by adding a little bit of a different shade. Some colorists are absolutely phenomenal, and I haven't had any sort of professional training. I just like colouring, and it is just through learning by watching that I have picked up some sort of tips and tricks along the way. But it does make a really big difference having nice pens and paper that will blend well on. Now we're going to use the darkest one, which is B0.5. And this is just in an attempt to create a little bit of a rainbow for the mane, just to give it a little bit of shape and make it appear a little bit different. So darkest, now back up the colourway to lightest, so now I'm back to B0.3. And I'm just blending on the edges of what I've just done with that darker B0.5. Which paper am I using? I am using the alcohol marker friendly cardstock that we provide in the kit. I don't believe we have a separate listing for it at the moment, but we will rectify that in our next release. Not allowed to use my crayons at Lizi's craft mat. No, you're not. When everybody's seen what Liam's done to my Versamark ink pad. That's what happens when I let him play. It makes a right mess. Right. So, as you can start to see, I've worked my way back into the really pale blue now. I am going to pop back in with the middle pink. Just going to pull some of those darker pinks back in again, just to accentuate some of the hair. And I think I'm going to call that about done. It's not my best colouring, but it might be my fastest. Now, the greys, I'm using Cool Grey 1 up to 3 for the horse itself. Now, I am going to lay down Cool Grey 1 across the whole horse, face, body, all of it, just to give. And the thing is, you can use the cool greys to create a horse that looks white. And if I wasn't trying to talk at the same time, where I need a bit of more concentration, then I would do a white. And I will endeavour to create a tutorial to create white. But this is CG3 now. Now, when you're choosing where to put your shading, copy the image. So there is the flank and the underbelly of the horse. You've got around here, let's pretend the sun is coming in from this way. So you're going to have under the hairline, around the bottom of the jaw. The rear leg will naturally look a bit darker. We'll put some darkness here and around the fronts of the legs and up the front of the body. Under all hair is going to appear a bit darker as well. So that was with Cool Grey 3, and now we're coming in with Cool Grey 5. Now this is quite a lot darker, so you want to be quite sparing. And what I'm going to do is exactly what I just did with the Cool Grey 3, but a much thinner amount. So where I've put the dark on the furthest most edges. I'm just putting the hint of the dark around the hairlines. And now I'm working back up. I go back to my number 3 and just blend over top of what I just coloured with the 5, just to soften those edges somewhat. And then come back in with the cool grey 1 and blend that all back out. Now, if I go over what I had already done, like the whole of the horse's body, it will take the grey down a tone. Something that is really lovely with these pens is that you can layer on layer and it will encourage it to get darker. But I am going to leave her around there. Now, I should perhaps pop a little bit of number 3 because she has got a rounded bottom. Should give her a bit of shape there. But there is a very quick and simple coloured horse. I am going to do the stand that the horse is on, and I'm going to use 7 with that. So I'm going to start with number 3 as my lightest. I will skip cool grey 1, cool grey 3, do the whole of the rocker. And now I'm going to come in with the 5 and do the underside where it will be the darkest, and around on the bottom of those little knob area. And then the 7, I am not even going to do the whole of the edge. I am just going to pick certain spots just to pull in a little bit more dark. And now working my way back up until I reach the cool grey 3, which I will then use to blend that all with. There we go. So that is my super quick alcohol marker colouring. It's certainly not the best I've ever done, but it also isn't the worst. Everybody starts somewhere, and yeah, I have gone over the edges a bit. That's one of the really nice things about the Lash Girls is if you go over the edges, it really doesn't matter because it's such a sketchy, such a fluid design. Now, the rocking horse die looks somewhat scary, but what it is because it will cut out some of the little extra pieces that are not necessary. Now, to line this up, again, you are going to want some tape, so have it at the ready. So let's take this from here. Now, I'm going to line up around this edge. I can't put my head directly over because otherwise you won't be able to see. But all of the little dots, all of the little squiggles should be visible within the die. So as you can see, I can see them. I'm going to tape this down here and at the bottom so that it doesn't shift, and we are going to cross our fingers and hope for the best. So oh gosh, good job that camera wasn't on. May never be again. Right, Sarah, honestly, I bought Copic markers, well, I started buying Copic markers probably, oh, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. It was after I'd started Love from Lizi. I didn't have any beforehand. And I am a full set syndrome kind of gal. I have to have everything. I can't have one of something, I have to have them all. And of course, Copic markers in the UK are painfully expensive. So I had to gradually work my way up. I bought second hand and I just played with them, and I did watch videos, and there are some people that colour so beautifully, like super, super beautifully. And it's, once you know where the shadow is supposed to be, where the dark is supposed to be, it's just about laying colour down. And I know that's probably really oversimplistic, but I'll do a video on really basic colouring. Now, this is now our lovely little horse, and look, that die that looked all complicated and menacing has die cut out these little notches so that you can see the background through, which I really like. I don't like it when there's an absolute ton of white space. So, you know the Background Builder 2? We're going to pop our rocking horse on Background Builder 2. Now, let's get a card base. And, sorry, that one took a bit of a bash, didn't it? I'm having magic hands correcting the close-up camera. Right, so 5.5, because it's a top fold. Give it a nice burnish. I like a Teflon bone folder because there's no residue left behind at the end. Now, this stamp set was an add-on stamp for the Christmas Ballet card kit. And within that card kit, there were pattern papers, which obviously work really very well. And this was one of the ones that I've picked, and it's really pretty. It's got Christmas trees, and I'm going to use that same die that I used earlier. Yes, so that I can have lots of lovely Christmas trees as the background for the rocking horse. I get some tape. Every time I put the die cut machine away, I think I'm done, and then I change my mind again. Which means we're going to hit the camera again, doesn't it? Janet, you've had yours for 17 years. Gosh, how many times have you refilled them? The problem that I have found with my Copics is some of them have actually dried up and I've not used them. I'm guessing these were cracked lids. But I find it really hard to get excited about a product and recommend a product that has dried up before I've even used it. Perhaps it's just my my ill management of them, but anyhow, and it's one of the reasons that I'm trying the Olo markers now, because they are more cost friendly, shall we say, and yeah, they are also made in Japan. The older ones before the lid issues. That maybe is why yours have lasted for 17 years. Okay. Right, so stitched. I don't know where I'd be without my stitched dies. What craft products do you rely on hard? So, I'm using a white card base. I do love a white card base. Clean, straightforward. And because there's pink and blue in the background, the little horse looks quite happy there. What we will do, what will we do? Oh, decisions. I'm going to grab some gold. It's here, I can see it. Some gold pearlescent. I just want to land. I just want to land her ever so slightly on the page. I'm just trying to work out how. This is one of the problems with not deciding what you're going to make before you make it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use the little trimmer. And we're going to trim a piece. It's a very exact term. I'm going to trim just a piece that I can lay diagonally, corner to corner, just to help join. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get tape runner. Make sure that corner is over one edge and that corner is over the other. It's the top corner, and otherwise if they hang in, it doesn't look as finished or polished. Snip away the extra. The other thing that you can do is allow them to hang over further so that they actually anchor it onto the white, onto the back of your card. And then we will attach this piece of paper here. Again, check which way the card opens. I don't think it matters how many years you've been making cards for. Sticking it on upside down is just a thing. Mary remembers when the kit had camellia markers. Oh my gosh. Right, Mary. I have got the full set of camellia markers behind me, and I promise I will make a video. I'll do it in a live using them. I apologise. Yes, they were in the kits. They were in the kits for quite a while, but then they struggled to keep up with the numbers that we needed. Like I would say, oh, okay, we need this colour, and they just wouldn't have them enough in stock to be able to give them to us for the kits. So I had to stop using them, which was really frustrating because it was a bit like the Nouveau drops. I really enjoyed letting people build their collection through the kit. Every time there was a new colour that came out, I would see if it obviously matched with the palette of the kit, and if it did, then everybody would enjoy getting a Nouveau drop. But again, they discontinued some of the colours, and they had shipping issues at times, which meant they wouldn't turn up. So all through the years we have had lots and lots of very different items in our kits. But yes, camellia markers were certainly one, and I really enjoyed the novel concept of those. Does anybody else here have them? They even did like colouring cards. Here's some I found earlier, but they did, oh yeah, show them here, to sort of encourage to teach you how to colour with them, which was something. But yes, I appreciate, I am fully digressing here now everyone, but this was the full sets that I had, and they are so dusty. Although having said that, I did get them out when we moved. So this is the full set of chameleon markers. It's a very nice display box. Nice way to use them. Totally going off on piece. Yes, sorry. Magic Hands is complaining. I'll put those away. Sorry. Right, I'll carry on now. I'm supposed to be making cards for everyone. Okay. I'm going to pop. I was thinking about doing her a little bit on the jaunt, but I've decided to keep this one going in the direction that the gold is going, just to keep that pleasing for the eye. So, using tweezers is also a really nice option at this point so that your fingers are out of the way, but here we are, barreling on through. And now that I have the horse stuck, I can see where I can pop my glue. Now with vellum, putting adhesive behind something means you won't see it, but you also have to be so sparing because sometimes wet glue will bubble. It will get absorbed into the vellum and it will misshape something nasty. So do be careful when you're making with vellum and with the adhesives that you use. We do actually have a self-adhesive vellum, which is a lifesaver for me. Right, oh, we need a sentiment. Rocking the holiday season. It can't be anything else, can it, surely? And we want to do that in a really pretty green. I say pine needles to go with the green of the tree. I hope everyone agrees. And then I need my sentiment strippers. Take one of these. Perfect. I'm going to get the Misty out again because I showed off a little bit last week and it backfired. Mary's asked if we sell purple tape. We don't. We used to, and as far as I'm aware it is actually discontinued. I will double check that, and if we can get it we will, because I love it. Yeah, I find it really useful because it doesn't tear my paper when I die cut. Okay, so rocking the holiday season. I'm going to clamp that down. Let's try not to destroy the card we've made so far. I always, when I'm stamping on a sentiment strip like this, I like to leave space at either end so that I can decide which way I want to have it hanging off the card. Rocking the holiday season. I absolutely love this font. It's got these little hearts in it, which is one of my favourites. Here we go, rocking the holiday season. That was once one and done, which was lovely. It's a really nice thing about the oxides. And now, to tie in with the gold, I am going to cut the slitheriest. Is that a word, slitheriest? I'm going to cut the slitheriest of slithers and stick it behind. Oh, and you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to drag it. You can do this with a blending tool, but dragging the edges just takes away the starkness. And if you're a bit fast and loose with it, you can get more than just the very edge. You can just sort of get, because these are textured, because they're it's almost like a linen pad. And there you go. So you can get a bit of a little bit of a distressed look to it. Of course, now I need to let that dry. Okay. Purple tape's best. Yes, Mary. I was given a load of it. It must have been at one of the conventions that we went to. So, it sounds like storage has been a direction in the comments. So, let's talk about storage. I largely have IKEA for like the bulky stuff, but I've become very specific in my old age. I don't know if this is because I have someone on hand that I can say, please, magic hands, make this. but I want to have my scissors where I want my scissors, and I want to be able to find all these things. So how do you all get to what you want without too much struggle or strife? Because I will put my scissors down and then I cannot for the life of me find them again. So how do you do it? When you're making, how do you keep everything where it should be? Right, popping some gold. Oh gosh, this is still very wet. I'm going to make a real mess with this. I'm popping a really skinny bit of gold. Now usually I would use a peel off for this, but because I have used the pearlescent on the actual card, I'm going to stick with the same ooh, decisions now, isn't it? I don't actually like that great big chunk that I've done there, so I'm going to get rid of it. That's how I deal with that. Right, let's pop some tape on the bottom here, because it's easier than trying to get it on this where there's green everywhere now. And I am just going to tack that down. Right. We're going to call that done. So this is card number 2. So we have done traditional and we have done non-traditional. Well, you know what we have got to do, sorry. I'm saying it's done and it's definitely not, because, see look, I can't find what I'm looking for. It is, it's necessary. Storage is so important. Right. There are tiny little hearts. And they are like the tiniest of hearts. Let's stamp a couple. Oh my goodness. It's so sweet, it's giving me a toothache. There we go. See? Tiny little hearts make all the difference. Okay, sorry. Right, let me put that back because I will cry if I lose that stamp. That is adorable. Okay. That's down there, that goes there. Okay. Okay, promise. Right, done. We've made 2. Traditional, non-traditional. I'm going to make 1 more. And I'm going to keep this one super, super simple. I can feel the eye roll coming from over there. Right, so for this, we're going to talk about the magic of Christmas. There is no peel-offs yet, you're right. It's intended. This is the magic of Christmas. This is, let me pop some of the things away. This was our first kit in a pad. So in this, there are papers that are regular, papers that are foiled, papers, oh, just flicked straight past them. It's quite tricky to do a flick on this concisely. Then we've got gold foiled vellum. We have got printed acetate that's got musical notes, and then there is gold mirror board, and there's a double of it. So essentially, oh, missed off the sticker sheet. So yeah, Liam's going to run through our little flick video there, whilst I start working out what this card looks like before I get told off for not having done it first. So yes, lots of lovely pretty patterned papers. Say that quickly. And yeah, some are foiled, some are regular. They're lovely and lightweight, so they're really easy to die cut. They go through the machine like butter. That's the gold foiled vellum. This is the acetate it's got this musical note printed on it, and it's so subtle, it's really pretty. And then you've got these really lovely, they're almost like cardboard stickers, and you get doubles of everything. So as you can see, very, very pretty. And if you're going away you know, if you're going camping or something, or if you're having a little holiday, taking that plus your adhesive and your stickers and some card bases, and you could make complete kits. So instead of making with this, because I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to show you an absolute ton of made cards using this. Is that an exchange? Is that going to make you happy? Okay, Sarah, when I make a mess, it's a total mess, but my scissors always go into its holder in a cup. Yes, you know, I have the best of intentions. Best of intentions, but now listen, I'm going to show you these cards. So these are what I and Christy from the Best Things in Life Are Pink have made with using this pad. So I did also have a stamp set, but this is the acetate that's got the musical notes on it. I'm not sure that the camera will show it, but little shaker card. This is one of the stickers along with the paper, and then there's gold mirror pinstripes. These are the gold mirror bubbles, and this was one of the stamps, the tree. Don't get your tinsel in a tangle. And these are using black pinstripes as well. This is watercoloured. This is using Background Builder 1. So these cards are all the same, but using different papers from that one pad. And it's using negatives as well. And then you've got these trees that are the same. That was from a class, obviously. So, Mary, I've discovered that things that spin around for upright storage, like scissors or brushes. Yes, I think I know what you mean, like a spinny carousel almost. Gloria says the magic of Christmas is one of my faves. This is so pretty, and look at what Christy makes. I mean, Christy makes the most beautiful cards. She is an absolute treasure. So these are her 10. Oh, glare galore. Let's go through them one at a time. Sorry about that. Okay. So she's used two of the stickers, some of the gold, and this is just with gold peel-offs. So pretty. This was using the stamp and the papers. Another one of the stickers. Ever so pretty. So lots and lots, and this is the acetate that she's got there with the notes on, which shows it quite well. Silent Night using the vellum. The little cherub sticker. And the great thing is about these stickers is they're so thick, you can dump a load of talcum powder on the back and it will remove the adhesive, but you can use them as ephemera because they're so thick. And yep, the gingerbread stickers with one of the foiled papers. Don't get your tinsel in a tangle. This is possibly one of my favourites of hers because I do like the blues and the greens. And then this one. So they are lots of cards. Now there will be plenty more inspiration over on the website. Yes, Christy Marcotte. Let's show you her. That's her blog spot. eponinekc.blogspot.com. There you go. So we've actually made 2 cards and looked at about another 30. So I hope that that satisfies for Christmas in July. I've had lots of fun. I hope you have as well. Look, my hair is now dry. Doesn't take long here now. Thank you everyone for coming along and for chatting away with us. It's been really good fun. I've really enjoyed today. Next week we are back with a fun fold. We will be making with the Be Happy card kit. I have got some short videos that we're going to be dripping in throughout the week. We've got the design team members sharing videos on Friday. Each Friday we have new videos, and then oh my goodness, we're going to be starting to sneak peek the next kit next week, I think. So it's all crazy. It's all very exciting, and I really hope that everybody is super excited for the Full of Woe class. I certainly am. We're going to have to fit air conditioning before then because I will melt under these lights for 5 hours. But thank you everyone for sticking with me and for joining in and chatting back with us, and all of the really interesting things that we've spoken about today, you know, with different pens and storage solutions and all the different ideas. I will certainly be reviewing and pondering how we can make things better for everyone. But anyhow, until next time, make something beautiful. Bye.